What if I told you that the Cleveland Browns might already be plotting to replace Shedeur Sanders, the highly hyped rookie quarterback they just picked up in the NFL draft, without even seeing him take a regular season snap? Sounds wild, right? Well, buckle up, because according to brand new predictions, the Browns could be setting their sights on a brand new quarterback, a name you probably haven't heard yet, but one that experts believe could become one of the biggest stars in college football and eventually the NFL. In this video, we're breaking down the shocking projection that has the Browns giving up on Sanders and targeting an emerging quarterback talent, Fernando Mendoza, for the #1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. And trust me, you'll want to stick around till the end because this story has way more twists and turns than you'd expect. Let's rewind the clock a little bit. When the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round of the NFL Draft this past April, a lot of fans in Cleveland and across the league believed this was the moment the franchise might finally get it right at the quarterback position. After all, Shedeur isn't just any prospect. He's the son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, and his college career was filled with highlights, big plays, and jaw-dropping moments that had fans convinced he could be the next breakout star in the league. With his charisma, leadership, and natural talent, it seemed like a dream scenario for the Browns. A young quarterback with a famous last name and a chip on his shoulder, ready to prove the doubters wrong. But beneath all the excitement, there was one major issue everyone seemed to overlook: his draft position. Shedeur Sanders wasn't taken in the 1st round. He wasn't even a day 2 pick. He was selected in the 5th round. And while there have certainly been late-round quarterbacks who turned into legends, we all know the story of Tom Brady going in the 6th round and becoming the greatest of all time. Those cases are extremely rare. The reality is, most late-round quarterbacks never become long-term starters, let alone franchise icons. Sure, there's always a chance someone like Shedeur could beat the odds. After all, look at Brock Purdy. He was literally the final pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, dubbed Mr. Irrelevant, and yet he defied every expectation, leading his team to multiple playoff wins and proving that scouting isn't always an exact science. So why couldn't Shedeur follow that same path? The raw ability is there, the pedigree is undeniable, and his confidence off the charts. But the NFL is a business, and teams can't afford to gamble their futures on long shots without a backup plan. That brings us to the latest development shaking up Browns fans everywhere. Joe DeLeon, a respected football analyst at Pro Football Network, recently dropped a bold and surprising 3-round mock draft for the 2026 NFL Draft. And in his prediction, the Cleveland Browns won't just be drafting a quarterback, they'll be holding the #1 overall pick, and the name attached to that pick? Fernando Mendoza. Now you might be asking yourself, who is Fernando Mendoza? And why would the Browns be willing to spend a #1 overall pick on him when they just drafted Shedeur Sanders? Well, according to DeLeon, Mendoza might not be a household name right now, but by the time the 2026 draft rolls around, he could very well be one of the most highly coveted quarterback prospects in the country. Let's dive into his story. Mendoza began his collegiate career at the University of California, where he quickly made a name for himself with his strong arm, excellent decision-making, and natural playmaking instincts. In 2024, he put together an impressive season, throwing for over 3,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions while completing nearly 69% of his passes. Those numbers alone would be enough to turn heads, but what makes Mendoza stand out even more is his ability to make difficult throws under pressure and his knack for stepping up in big moments. After 2 seasons at Cal, Mendoza made the surprising decision to transfer to Indiana, seeking a bigger stage and a chance to elevate his draft stock even further. And it worked. Between the 2023 and 2024 seasons, Mendoza threw a total of 30 touchdowns and solidified his reputation as one of the top emerging quarterbacks in college football. Experts have praised his natural tools, including a powerful arm, quick release, and impressive mobility in and out of the pocket. Joe DeLeon believes that if the Browns find themselves in a position where they're resetting their quarterback situation, something the franchise has done time and time again, they'll need to take a player with elite physical tools and long-term potential. And for him, Mendoza is exactly that guy. A quarterback with size, arm talent, athleticism, and the leadership qualities that NFL teams covet in their signal callers. Now, it's worth noting that this prediction is a bit of a surprise given the depth of quarterback talent expected in the upcoming draft classes. There are several other big-name prospects likely to declare in the next year or two, which makes it even more interesting that DeLeon would single out Mendoza as the future face of the Browns. But as we've seen countless times before, draft boards can shift dramatically from one season to the next, and under-the-radar prospects can quickly rise to the top with a breakout season or two. The bigger question here is what this projection means for Shedeur Sanders. Will he even get a legitimate chance to prove himself in Cleveland? Or will the Browns, a franchise notorious for its revolving door at quarterback, decide to cut their losses early and chase after a new prospect? If Mendoza continues to develop and lives up to the growing hype, the Browns might find themselves facing a difficult decision. So now I want to hear from you, the fans. Should the Cleveland Browns give Shedeur Sanders a real opportunity to prove he can be the quarterback of the future? Or is it wiser for the team to start planning ahead and keep an eye on rising stars like Fernando Mendoza? Who would you rather see leading the Browns into the next era, the confident, charismatic Sanders or the powerful armed underdog Mendoza? Let's get this debate started in the comments section right now. One of college football's biggest names is facing a reality check in Cleveland. Shedeur Sanders, yes, the son of legendary Deion Sanders, has taken his first steps into the NFL, but the path isn't as smooth as many expected. From campus celebrity to pro quarterback hopeful, Shedeur's journey is hitting a serious speed bump. And now, a former NFL general manager is weighing in with some brutally honest advice that Browns fans and Sanders supporters might not want to hear. It all comes down to Week 1 of the 2025 season. The Cleveland Browns have one of the most crowded and competitive quarterback rooms in the entire league. Veterans like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett are battling alongside rookies Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders for that starting spot. But the early signs from minicamp aren't favoring the young star. Reports suggest Sanders is a long shot to take the field when the Browns open their season against the Cincinnati Bengals. Former NFL general manager Mike Tannenbaum, speaking on NFL on ESPN, didn't mince his words when asked who should start in Week 1. His pick, Joe Flacco. And the reasoning was crystal clear. Tannenbaum pointed out that Joe Flacco comes in with 191 career regular season starts. That kind of experience is priceless, especially considering the brutal opening schedule Cleveland faces. We're talking about back-to-back games against Cincinnati, Baltimore, Green Bay, Detroit, and Minnesota. Tannenbaum argued, it's less about pure skill and more about survival. Throwing a raw rookie like Shedeur Sanders or even Dillon Gabriel into that gauntlet could shatter confidence and derail development before it even begins. Another big sign? Sanders didn't receive any first-team reps during organized team activities. Meanwhile, others in the quarterback room got their chance to shine. And while Shedeur carries major name recognition thanks to his famous father and a standout college career with the Colorado Buffaloes, NFL reality hit hard during the 2025 draft. Sanders slipped to the 5th round, while Dillon Gabriel was picked earlier in the 3rd. But in true Sanders fashion, Shedeur is handling the adversity with poise. Speaking in early June, he made it clear he's focused on growth, not pressure. I got time to actually be able to really have a great understanding, he said. Whenever it's time for me to play, then it's time for me to play. But I'm not looking too far in the future. I'm focused on the small things, and over time the big things will happen. Adding an emotional twist to the story is Deshaun Watson. While still recovering from a second Achilles injury, Watson has taken Shedeur under his wing. He's reportedly mentoring the rookie, offering advice and guidance as Sanders adapts to the professional game. And with Watson sidelined indefinitely, the Browns are now walking a fine line between developing young talent and fielding a competitive team in one of the NFL's toughest divisions, the AFC North. The real heat is set to rise during training camp in late July. That's when the quarterback competition will hit its peak. Until then, the message from both inside the Browns organization and around the league is clear. Patience is the smarter play. Shedeur Sanders might be the future, but rushing him into action against some of the league's fiercest defenses could be a costly mistake. It's a delicate balancing act for Cleveland as fans wait anxiously for their next franchise quarterback to emerge. So what do you think? Should the Browns play it safe with Joe Flacco or roll the dice on their promising rookie? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button if you love deep football breakdowns, and don't forget to subscribe for more NFL stories like this one. Until next time, stay tuned, stay sharp, and we'll catch you on the next snap.